Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm an Atlanta area personal bankruptcy attorney. And today I'd like to talk to you if you're going to be using a contribution from a friend, relative, coworker to help fund your Chapter 13 plan. And basically what I'm getting at is this. Let's say that you need to go into a Chapter 13 plan and you need to have a gross income of, let's say, $2,000 a month, and your salary is $1,500 a month. You need another $500. So it might be tempting to add to your budget a $500 a month contribution from your mom, your brother, your sister, your best friend, coworker, that sort of thing, and use that to make your budget feasible for Chapter 13, because again, Chapter 13 is really all about math. You've got to have enough money coming in and enough disposable income left over after you pay your expenses to fund your Chapter 13 plan. So if your plan requires, based on the calculations, $800 a month and all you've got is $300 a month disposable, where are you going to get the other $500? This is one of the things people often do is they'll say, well, okay, I'm going to put in my budget $500 a month contribution from my mom. In fact, I was at a 341 hearing today and I saw a case, not mine fortunately, but I saw a case where a debtor did this. And the trustee, you could see the trustee's eyebrows go up, his radar kind of went up, because this is obviously a problem. And the reason for it is that if you're depending on somebody else's contribution, the question is your plan really feasible? Chapter 13 cases typically last 5 years. They've got to last at least 3 years. Most of them are going to last 5 years. And the obvious question is, can you really depend on your friend or your mom or your other relative to give you $500 a month or $300 a month for the next 5 years? I think that's kind of a hopeful, wishful thinking, and I don't know that a trustee is going to believe that's really going to happen. Second thing is, you can't just say it. You can't just say, Mr. Trustee, I'm getting $500 a month or $300 a month from my good friend, and that's pretty reliable. The trustee is going to want to see proof, and the proof is going to need to be in the form of checks, copies of checks, or proof of bank deposits that shows this is really happening, because the trustee is simply not going to believe you. Again, it's just not realistic to think that somebody is going to pay you or give you $300 or $400 a month without expectation of repayment. If you do it as a loan, that would need to be approved by the judge, because a loan, while you're in Chapter 13, you've got to get approval by the court. So you can't really structure it as a loan. It's got to be a gift. And as I said before, the idea that somebody's going to gift you $300 or $400 or $500 a month for the next 5 years is not especially realistic. What I would tell you is, if the problem is short term, meaning that you have, let's say in 6 months you're going to either qualify for another job, or your kid's going to graduate school and be off the payroll, or you're going to be out of the apartment that you're in, you're going to be able to get into a cheaper apartment, or you've got some other way to reduce your monthly outflow, and you need support for the next 3, 4, 5 months, that's realistic that your friend or your mom was going to help you for 4 or 5 months. Again, not for 5 years, but 4 or 5 months, yes. So if you need to do it, I would say only put that in if it's going to be for a limited time period, to be able to explain to the trustee that in 5 months you're going to have this change in your life, that you're going to be in a different apartment, or that this expense is coming to an end, or that you're going to be able to have time to get another job, or something else is going to happen. Because again, you're going to have to show an explanation. You can't just say things are going to change in 5 months. You've got to be able to explain what's going to change and why it's going to change. I think another thing to think about would be, if you're in a situation where you really need and you're short $300, $400, $500 a month, it's time to look at your bankruptcy schedules. Can you give something up? Can you walk away from a lease? Maybe you're living above your means, and this is a good time to sit down with your bankruptcy lawyer and really go over everything. I like to say, and I tell all my clients this, if you're sitting here talking to a bankruptcy lawyer, everything needs to be on the table. And I mean everything. And that means everything you're trying to save, your house, your car, your furniture, your jewelry, everything, your lease, any sort of time payments, rental furniture, anything like that. So use bankruptcy to reduce your outflow. Get yourself into a positive budget situation. It may be not fun to have to move in the middle of the school year and your kids have to go to a different school. But again, we're talking about bankruptcy. If you're talking to a bankruptcy lawyer, you need to think about all these possible things and put everything on the table. Let your lawyer guide you. I know when I'm talking to my clients, I'm very realistic. This is not the time to say this is what we hope happens. It's best to look at what has happened, what is likely to continue. Human beings, we're typically optimists by nature, but the reality is that things don't always go as planned. If you're in bankruptcy, use it to get rid of as much as you can, reduce your outflow, make your budget as much in the black as you possibly can, and I think you'll find that it really does you good, both financially and for peace of mind. So bottom line here is, if you're relying on contribution from a friend or relative to make your bankruptcy work, that's a good time to stop and take stock of everything. What's really going on here, and is there a better way to deal with this? Hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. And of course, if I can be of assistance to you, please reach out to me. I'm at 770-393-4985. Let me also invite you to download my Debt Destroyer Survival Kit. This gives you some good information about avoiding bankruptcy, making your bankruptcy work, and recovering from bankruptcy as well. You can find that at www.atlanta-bankruptcy.com. Again, I'm Jonathan Ginsberg, wishing you the best. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Jonathan, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'd like to invite you to download my free Debt Destroyer Survival Kit right now. I've packed my survival kit with answers to the questions I've heard from clients for over 25 years here in the Atlanta area. Inside the survival kit, you'll find clear, easy to understand answers to critical topics about how to solve debt problems once and for all, including how do I protect my stuff, my house, car, and personal property if I file for bankruptcy? Are there any legitimate alternatives to bankruptcy? Will I ever get credit again, and if so, when? What mistakes must I avoid to get the most benefit out of bankruptcy? You can claim your copy right now by visiting my atlanta-bankruptcy.com website. And you are always welcome to use the email form on my website to ask me anything about debt and personal bankruptcy in Atlanta. www.atlanta-bankruptcy.com. And as always, I wish you the best.